Getting funnier and funnier. Getting funnier and funnier. And it becomes a belly laugh. And you start to laugh like a donkey.
What are they laughing about? You know, if you ask them, they might not remember. Well, hopefully they remember now, because this week's skit is all around amnesia. If you want to find out more, keep watching inside. Hi there, my name's Turan Mirza. I'm a hypnotist and a clinical hypnotherapist. And, well, first of all, happy St. Patrick's Day. It's the 17th of March. Where is time going? Last weekend was Mother's Day, and that's why we've got some beautiful flowers here in the kitchen. That's why I thought I'd sit in the kitchen, because as much as you know I love shooting videos outside, well, because it's raining outside again. You can see the rain there. And it is spring, it is St. Patrick's Day, so you can see the buds are on the trees, and we're looking forward to fresh weather and getting outside with the camera. So let's talk about this week's video. You've seen these two girls before, and I'll put a link up to their induction in the info cards above, so you can check out their induction after you've watched this fun skit. And this week we're inducing amnesia, which is to forget something. So watch the skit, have fun with the skit. They performed beautifully, and as you saw in that intro clip, they were giggling like mad halfway through it, and I did a series of things with them. And then stay tuned, as always, I'll be talking about the clip and some aspects of hypnosis within that clip. And this week we're talking about amnesia and how best to induce amnesia. So have fun, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, make sure you give it a like, and don't forget, click the subscribe button and that bell notification button next to the subscribe button, so you get notified every time a new video is coming out. And you know what I'm going to say next? Leave a comment in the comment section below. I love answering your questions, and there's a couple of questions now. I realized when someone asked a question in a quite old video from 3-4 years ago. Somebody's watching through that. Keep watching, keep catching up on all the videos. Somebody left a question in one of those older videos, and that reminded me, somebody left a question in December, and I said I would answer that in January. So I will be making videos about those questions very shortly. But in the meantime, have a look at this video and stay tuned for the breakdown and discussion of that video afterwards.
In a minute I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and the count of 3 this time. On the count of 3 this time, your feet will become unstuck, but your feet will become unstuck just as quickly as your name sticks to the back of your mind. Just as quickly as your name sticks to the back of your mind. You will not be able to say your name. The more you try and say that name, the more that name just disappears. You know what it's like to forget a name. You've seen that girl on the TV. You say, I know that name, I know that girl, but I cannot say that name. That name is locked and stuck at the back of your mind. Just like your feet were stuck, that name is locked and stuck. Nod your head that you understand. So 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. Move your feet. Wasn't that cool? And what's your name when you try and say it?
I don't want to leave my bags. What?
What's your name?
There we go.
No. Even if you hear it, you can't say it.
Oh my God.
Even if you hear it, you can't say it. Where's your friends?
Here.
What's her name?
Shayna.
Transit.
I don't have.
And what's this girl's name?
Huh?
You have
What's her?
V.
V? Transit? It's gone. The harder you try, the funnier it gets. The harder you try, the funnier it gets. Getting funnier and funnier. Getting funnier and funnier. And it becomes a belly laugh. And you start to laugh like a donkey. You start to laugh like a donkey. What's your name? What's your name? And you stop laughing, but notice what happens. When you can say your name, but only when you sing it in rhyme. So sing the birthday song.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear V. Happy birthday to you.
And it's gone. What's your name?
It's like...
And what's your name, sir?
Happy birthday to you.
Say Go on again. What's your name? Watch this. When I tap you in the forehead, your name is E-I-E-I-O. What's your name?
Yeah.
How do you E-I-E-I-O? Is that like E-I and surname I-O, or?
Yeah.
Or is it, yeah. And who named you? Your mum or dad?
Dad, definitely.
Dad. There you go. And I'm sure with a name like that, yeah, you get really irritated if somebody gets it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So your name's G.I. Joe.
No. It's E-I-E-I-O.
E-I-B-I-O.
E-I-E-I-O.
And how do you spell that?
E-I-E-I-O.
Very good. And your name is Bob. What's your name?
Bob.
How do you do, Bob? There you go. And every time I click my fingers, your name changes to a different boy's name. Introduce yourself to this girl here.
Hi, I'm John.
There you go. And introduce yourself to this lady here.
Hi, I'm Stephen.
There you go. Isn't that cool? Look at me and sleep now. Way down. Deeper. Deep you go.
Hi and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that video. Weren't they lovely stars? They were very entertaining, and that's what street hypnosis is all about. Giving both those two girls an experience, and also, as you saw, their friend and a couple of people behind camera were also getting entertained and amused by what was going on through that skit. So we induced amnesia, and you saw it worked very well. They just could not remember their names. So how best to induce amnesia? Well, let's look at it the other way. If I'm getting you to try and remember something, say a phone number, I'm going to say to you, well, try and remember the last time you dialed it out on your mobile phone, your cell phone. Remember the pattern. So I'm giving you memories, trying to induce memories of the last time you used that number. Maybe the last time you saw it written down on a page. Maybe you see it in a series of two numbers, 07074525, whatever. Think of it in the way you most best remember that. So I'm inducing ways of trying to remember it. So if you want to induce amnesia, to forget something, then ask them to remember a time they forgot something. Now I'm trying to get them to forget their name in this situation, so I'm inducing memories of another time they've forgot something. Now I don't know these girls, I've never met them before, so how do I know what memory to trigger? Now I think we've all been in a situation where we've seen something on TV, or we're discussing a TV character, maybe one of the guys from Friends, one of the girls from Friends, and you go, oh, what's his name? You know that name. Oh, what's that name? What do you call that guy? The dark-haired guy. Oh, what's his name? That's a moment in time where we were watching TV or a movie and we wanted to remember the actor's real name, but we just couldn't remember it. We've all been in that situation, or in general, generalizing out, typically that's a situation where everybody's been. So I'm using a generalization, a generic thought, an idea of not remembering a name of a character. But in doing that, I'm linking that amnesia, that forgetfulness, to forgetting their name. And that's the reason I say that. You're going to wake up, you're not going to remember your name, and you will not be able to say your name. Just like a time when you're watching TV and you forgot someone's name on TV or in the movies. So I'm giving that memory of forgetting. So that reinforces the idea of amnesia. Now, wonderfully, they wake up and they can't say their names. Now I know the suggestion has implanted perfectly. And like I say, I know the suggestions because I don't know it as I'm giving it, because I'm not in control of how their mind thinks. If they are very strongly connected to their name, if they, for any reason, morally or otherwise, don't want to have that experience, then they can resist. It's a popular question when people are asking me, oh, can you resist the suggestion? You can resist if there's a lovely situation where I was doing just this skit to someone in a bar. I was doing a round table hypnosis, and I was doing this skit in the bar, and the person I asked to forget their name didn't forget their name. Now they came up to me later and said to me, you know, I'm going through a divorce right now. My name is very central to who I am, and I wasn't going to forget that name. They had a foot stuck experience, and they had other experiences in hypnosis where they accepted those suggestions but didn't accept the suggestion to forget their name. But there's a very strong reason, especially something very life-changing, like a divorce, and they wanted to hold on to their name, they're in control of whether they accept each suggestion on a suggestion by suggestion basis. This is why it's important, whether it's in a street hypnosis setting or even in a therapeutic setting, that you address multiple suggestions turning out to the same end result. So you want to give lots of different suggestions, knowing that some of those suggestions may not stick. Not because you're not a good hypnotist, not because they're not a good subject or haven't the right mindset. It's because of all the history, all the knowledge, all the beliefs that they have around themselves and around hypnosis. Not every suggestion might stick. That's a fact. Okay? I'm not in control. It looks like I've mysteriously taken control of their memories and made them forget it. I've given a suggestion that hopefully, if I've done it well, and I've given multiple ways of suggesting that end point, they will forget it. So once I know they've forgotten their name, then I can play a little bit more. I know that their unconscious mind has accepted the idea that they cannot say their name. So I will say things like, even if you hear it, you cannot say it. And then I get their friend to call out their names. Now, I didn't suggest that when their eyes were closed. That was a very waking suggestion, but they're still in hypnosis. People, don't be confused with the idea that this, with their eyes closed and their head down on their chest, is a hypnotic state, and when their eyes are open, they're out of hypnosis. They're in that hypnotic suggestible state all the while. So I can give additional suggestions even with their eyes open. As you saw in the intro, and halfway through that skit, they are laughing hysterically, and so I play on that and slightly move away from the amnesia part of the skit by saying you laugh more and more, and giving that again waking suggestion that they continue to laugh and can't stop laughing. And then I move on to you start to laugh like a donkey. Now the girl in the green jacket, she was laughing almost like a donkey, whereas the other girl, she was laughing that much she didn't pick up on that suggestion, so she didn't really follow through on that suggestion. Again, it's not because I was a bad hypnotist, or not that she was a good subject. She was just laughing so much. She was in her own world of fun and laughter that she didn't really pick up on that suggestion. Do you call that a fail, that it didn't work? I don't think so. It's just she was engrossed in what she was doing, and that's fine. I don't push on and reinforce that point. I just move on with what I was doing and find another way of entertaining the onlookers and giving these two people an experience. I move on to things like implanting a new name. The first girl was E-I-E-I-O, the second girl was a boy's name, Bob, and then it would change every time they shook someone's hand and introduced themselves. So lots of ways to add colour and imagination and extend that skit. That skit went on for what, 3-4 minutes. So it's a nice skit to do with lots of options to sidetrack onto other things like laughter, to reinforce it with adding new names and all the rest of it. It's a nice skit to do. So again, you'll see that a lot in this channel. I've talked about that before. But I'll stop there. I've rambled on too long. I want to try and keep these short, but there's so much information in each little clip. So I hope you did like that. Make sure you give the video a thumb up. Make sure you give it a like, and don't forget, click the subscribe button and that bell notification button next to the subscribe button so you get notified every time there's a new video coming out. Is there something that I missed that you'd like to ask a question about? Leave it in the comment section below. What did you think of this video? Tell me what you liked by putting a comment in the comment section below. It really helps my videos when there's comments there, so please, I encourage you to help others find out about this wonderful subject. In the meantime, I'll leave it there. I'll drop this video. This is the video of them getting induced into hypnosis that I mentioned earlier, and check it out next. And until next week, have a good week.